are you here? Can you hear me?
How are you? Good?
As soon as the clerk's ready, I'm going to start this meeting. So,
Mayor, you're live.
all right. Time is now 4, 5, 6, 5. What is it? 6:03 p.m. Wednesday, May 6th. This will be a special commission meeting discussing the town's finances. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge
Is
allegiance
to the flag of the United States
To
of
the
America,
of the United States of America.
for which it
To
stands,
the republic,
one nation under
one
God,
nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right. Any withdrawals or deletions?
Roll call.
Agenda?
Mayor, roll call.
Roll call.
Mayor Jacobs,
I'm here.
Vice Mayor Kashem,
Yes.
Commissioner Mohammed,
Here.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkin,
Yes.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Morissette.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
All right. I'm going to pass the gavel to Ashura Mohammed to run this meeting, as I am not physically there, and that's what we voted on 2 weeks ago. Commissioner Mohammed, are you willing to accept the gavel?
Sure.
I think we should vote on that.
All right.
The Mayor Commissioner, excuse
Okay.
me, just very quickly, if I could, I'll pull the ordinance now. As I recall, the gavel would automatically pass to the Vice Mayor unless the commission felt differently.
Mayor, you're live.
Let me
I have no objections to passing it to the vice mayor.
see, let's keep.
Okay, let's do a vote on passing the gavel to Ashura.
Oh my God.
No, we said to the
No,
vice.
they said to the vice mayor, so.
I second.
All right, pass the gavel to Mosfika.
Okay.
I got till midnight.
Okay. Any deletions or withdrawals? No. Public comments? No. Public comment close. 6, presentation. 6.1, ARFA review, Finance Director Diverman.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, just to confirm for the record, the ordinance provides that the mayor shall serve as a providing officer. In the absence of the mayor, the vice mayor or another member designated by the commission shall serve. So absent some other designation, the vice mayor would be the presiding officer. Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor.
Is this it?
Show it to him. No, it's a
You got the mic.
PowerPoint.
Is your mic on, sir?
Yes, can you? It's PowerPoint. Good evening, Commissioners. James Averman, Finance Director. Here to give you an ARPA walkthrough. I believe this was done last. Oh, okay. I'll walk you through the accomplishments for the Finance Department. Did we flip the order?
Hey, Mr. Doberman,
Yes.
before you start,
Yes.
we're not looking for your accomplishments. We're looking for the status
Ask away, sir.
of the department.
What would you like to know?
Would you let him continue, please?
Is
We're looking for the status of the finance department, not the accomplishments. But go ahead.
no, I was told that you wanted to have me present to give this presentation because I didn't do it last week, so that's the only reason why it's up here. But if there's something,
Is this your presentation from the accountability?
yes,
Okay,
but we don't have to proceed with it if there's something
No,
else
go
you'd like
ahead.
to discuss.
go ahead.
Can you flip to the other one? Sorry about that. I'll make sure not to drain the slides. I won't waste anyone's time. I'll just go through it for posterity. So these are the 5 pillars that we basically anchor everything we do as a department to. If any of these are off, that's the point at which I start losing sleep at night. So we're going to make sure that the town is fiscally sustainable, that the budget prioritizes everything that the commissioners would like to execute in a given year, that we're in a state of audit readiness at all times, that we pay our bills, make payroll, and that we're always in compliance. And
Can you adjust the microphone? It's very
sorry. So my first couple of months in the department, what I did was just observe our day-to-day operations and see exactly how we executed. And I took note of any internal control areas where we were a bit weak. And so as you can see here,
I'm sorry, I'm going to ask for a point of clarification because
Sure.
I thought we were on 6.1 for presentation. but like in my book, we're currently like in section 7. So 6.1 was the ARPA review.
Yes.
Which item are we
Flip
on
the
for,
order.
for clarification for the agenda purpose and for this meeting?
So we're on 6 point, I'm.
We are on 6.1?
Yes, I'm unsure exactly as to which item we're presenting.
I mean, I was going by the book you printed and I kind of
Yeah,
tabbed it up,
that's-
and that's why I kind of was like, wait, I thought,
Well,
Yeah, we are all in 6.1.
okay, which is ARPA review.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was told,
what are you told? I'm sorry.
so the ARPA review that was provided last week is the same one that was that it was for this week.
Correct.
So
But
there
we
was,
need to have a discussion on it.
so yes, so originally I had put that on, but the mayor, I believe, I don't know what exactly. So do I put the ARPA review? Let James know exactly which one he has to present on, the ARPA review first, or
He stated six presentation, so the first item on 6 was ARPA review, based on the agenda, if we're following through the agenda. Okay,
Okay, flip it if you must.
okay, so that's why, I just want to make sure for clarification, because I know if you're sitting here doing the minutes, you're gonna be like, well, how did we get to page 7.1 in the book? But yet, we're talking about 6.1, which was what was stated, item number we should be on for the agenda.
All right. For the ARPA review, we actually got this idea because Commissioner Mohammed sent us a request to audit the entire ARPA program. And so I sat down with our procurement administrator and the deputy finance director, and we spent a week compiling all of the documents related to every single program. And it turned out to be about 500 pages roughly. And so I wanted to thank Lizette Rodriguez and Stephanie Woodbury for helping me put this together, because it was very time consuming. And then I had to take all of this info and distill it, into 3 slides, which, it undermines all the work that they put into putting this together. So again, I just wanted to let them know that this was a 500-page undertaking that took us a week to put together. This is the list of projects. I know Lizette tried to present this last week, and we made a couple of updates based on new information that we found. But the remaining balance is $735,180. Every project in green has been completed 100%. The ones in blue have been completed more than 75%. The blank ones have not been started. And so we've expended about $2.1 million in total, and there are $47,600 in active commitments. And again, the remaining balance of $735,180. And when you look at it at a glance, we expended, again, 2.1 million, and 3.38 was what was originally appropriated. And the first slide just had to do with the actions we took to basically correct an accounting error that was done 5 years ago, where according to grant accounting, you have to recognize the revenue as it's earned, and you have to recognize expenses as they're incurred. We recognized the entire revenue up front. It wasn't expended, which was against the conditions of the grant. And so at the end of the year in 2021, it flowed into fund balance. And of course, I presented to the commissioners a couple of weeks ago to a budget amendment to bring it back in to the budget so that we can reclass projects that should have been charged to it correctly. And so that, was the undertaking that we had done previously. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have or engage in any discussion regarding the program.
Did you find any irregularities or way out of place or anything like that, James?
No, we collected every single purchase order, invoice. We collected we spoke with other departments. We collected everything that was done. Everything was done by the book. The only issue is there were a couple of projects that either didn't get off the ground for, whatever reason. And because of the tight deadline that we have, by the end of the year, we have to ensure that the funds get expended. But again, 2.1 million in less than a year is, pretty good rate of a burn.
Okay, so the reason I asked for this item to be placed on the agenda is because of the fact that after a review of the project and expenditures report, user's guide, and consulting with other cities regarding our ARPA fund, we seem to have some issues with the obligations being being handled. And I'm asking for basically a review because of the fact that while it does say in the book on page 55 through 57, like we discussed, that you needed to obligate all of the funds by December 24th, but because you stated that we took the full allotment, we're looking to see, based on other cities and conversations with NLC and FLC, that might not have been the right methodology to go about as far as obligating the funds. And so, which is why I'm not sure if, I did send an email to you asking for all the minutes to see where we are with everything. Cynthia has been working diligently today. Cynthia has been working diligently today and last night, and I appreciate what she's been able to pull together for us and going through the record to pull all the minutes, because of the fact that all these minutes are going to have to be reviewed by somebody outside of us, because we don't have the expertise in order to basically deal with this, and dealing with having the conversations with the federal government to make sure that we're not going to be subject to a clawback because of the fact that these obligated funds have not been done. So that's why I asked, because we've been having these internal conversation, not only with you, James, but with other outside entities, trying to get a handle on this, because of the fact that this is $3.38 million that come next year we might be having to pay back to the federal government if we did not do this right. So I had the conversation earlier, like 10 minutes ago, with the city attorney, who suggested that Morvis might, how do you say it?
Forvis Mazer.
That name might be the better entity to do a thorough review, deep dive into this.
Is that the folks that you brought in?
That is the folks that we brought in, yes. But at this point, I really don't care. I don't have the financial expertise, and I need somebody who's currently reviewing ARPA stuff in order to go through this, because of the fact that we don't want to get caught with our tail between our legs, because
We do have an auditor in our midst that works for us, correct?
who's our auditor in our midst that works for us?
We have a forensic auditor as our staff.
Oh, you mean Lizette? Oh, yes. She has a forensic auditing background. That's why I hired her to ensure we were.
I acknowledge what.
Forensic audit. This is a compliance audit. We need compliance review,
That's
not
what.
forensic.
That's what forensic audit.
That's what you do in
No,
the
we
end.
need we need somebody that's going to look through the statutes and make sure that we are complying with that. Forensic audits do a little bit different scale of expertise. We need somebody outside of the city to make sure that we're not getting stuck with a 3.38 clawback.
I agree with you that none of the commissioners have an accounting background.
Actually, I do. I have an accounting degree.
Oh,
But I'm not the town auditor, and I would never put my name or my numbers on anything like this, just so you know.
Okay.
These aren't my numbers. I didn't do this.
All right.
I sit on this dais and vote for policy. I don't sit in the background crunching numbers. I don't sit in the background dealing with the state.
That's not your job. We
Not
know.
my job. My job is to shake hands, kiss babies, and make policies.
All right. That information you are.
Guys, this is not a laughing matter. This is serious. We have financial issues here in the town, and making jokes about it just shows the ignorance of the situation that we're dealing with.
Before.
Yes. Let's please continue.
I mean, I'd like to hear what.
So you're gonna try to, sure. You guys, okay, never mind.
No,
You guys think it's okay to silence me? Sure. Go ahead.
Commissioner Jacobs, I mean, Mayor Jacobs, I would like to hear what you have to say, because of the fact that you're the second oldest person on this dais who've had the experience of having to deal with us not being in compliance, of us trying to get things in compliance and trying to fix the wrongs that we have incurred.
Okay. Who says we're not in compliance? What outside experts are saying that we're not in compliance?
Based on this actual report, if you actually go through it, you can. It's more
nope.
than available for you to look through.
Thank you. Nobody shared it with me.
Okay, so
Even with that said, who says that it's not right?
it's better to be. I'm telling you from what we've been reading, and
Who's
from
we?
other cities.
Who's we? We haven't seen
Our
it.
staff.
Have you seen it, Misha? Have
Yeah.
you seen all this?
I'm looking for these things, yes.
You haven't seen it yet, though. You're going to see it, or?
No, I did. Last
All
3
of
weeks,
that?
I am working on it, yes.
In your opinion? You need
So,
a forensic
yes,
audit?
we need it, but I am not agree with James Murray. That one we are choose because they're already doing the for us for the budget. So I need someone else who giving the 100%. So I basically have a contact with the 3 companies like the Becker Tilly, but I am Becker Tilly, James Murray, and Eisner Amper. So I am highly like to Eisner Amper. And if you guys go Google it and see the things, like I think that will be the best fit for us in that moment.
May I ask the?
Question.
I'm first. Town manager. How can a town be audited by the state and pass the audit, and now the accusation is that we are not in compliance? Is that the state not doing their job, or what's going on?
Well, the financial audit is a different animal. The financial audit does not delve into whether we are compliant with the federal ARPA program rules and compliant requirements. That's a different look. They're looking at different things. They're looking to see if funds have been expended properly and whether your funds balance and so forth and so on, my understanding. And even in those, we were, the auditors in the past several years, excuse me.
I'll pass these out,
Okay.
just so that they see them.
They have found, some issues with, nothing, nothing, I don't think there's anything, that is, well, I don't want to say nothing that's minor, that isn't minor. They have found some things that we were not doing, and these are things that had been going on for some time, and I think that the finance director has attempted to address some of them. Some of them are still out there. I'll give you an example. The P-card usage, we had no policy for P-card usage. We got written up for that, so we had to develop a policy. We had almost no travel reimbursement policy, so we had to create policies to address that. Those are the kinds of things that we were written up for. So we have not had clean audits, at least recently, but we are I believe we are working in the right direction to address these issues. Not all of them are addressed, but we will continue to attempt to address them with our state auditors, the state-required financial audits. What Forvis is going to do for us is look into the internal workings of the finance department to see if our systems are working the way that they should be working. And what the vice mayor is talking about, we're going to get to in more detail at one of the upcoming items. I think actually it's my 7.2 is mine. And we're going to talk about that in 7.2. With ARPA, we have pulled Ashira held up a thick book on the rules and regulations of ARPA. It's a federal program, so it's going to be like looking at an encyclopedia for the rules. And I think that, James had informed us, he was a part of these conversations, that we came in under the standard allowance, which is less than $10 million. You basically have sort of a blanket carte blanche to spend. You have a lot more flexibility in the way that you spend the money. Well, we were under the impression that this allowed us a lot more freedom from the regulations. And now, by digging deeper into those regulations, I think it is our opinion that we may not be free from some of the regulations, from the requirements, like the December 31st. Funds must be obligated by December 31st of 2024, for instance. And there is some question about whether or not we have fully met that deadline, even though, you know, we pretty much fully obligated everything to date. That may or may not be compliant. We are continuing to seek, with the help of the attorney and others, we have a plan to seek professional advice on this matter, and we'll report back what we find. We just have to,
Where did the questions come from?
pardon me?
You said there was questions. Who questioned what?
When we started to look at these rules, our question, we raised our,
So
you
you're
know,
questioning yourself, I mean.
well, we're questioning what the town has done or not done. Yes, that's correct. We're questioning.
So
Because we
we don't have an outside government force saying, you know, questioning us. We're
no, but
questioning it internally.
yes, we are questioning it internally.
We're not gonna wait for government ask for those
No, no, no,
questions,
I
but when
understand
we
that,
looking the paperwork, we.
But
find
what's going to
out
happen,
gonna have
what's going to happen at the end, at some point in time, ARPA will audit every program throughout the United States. Now, you know, they're not, we want to get ahead of this. That's what we're trying to say here, I think. Is that we want to be ahead of we don't want to wait for them to come to us and say, hey, what did you do here? We want to be prepared. We want to get ahead of
Well,
of
that
that
sounds
curve.
reasonable.
Yeah.
And we will
That's
be.
what this discussion.
Hopefully, we won't have to have 27
Okay.
audits to do.
Jacobs?
Yeah, he's got his hand.
Oh, Jacobs has his hand up. You want to?
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes. So I'm going to go back to 2019, and since I've been here, we have not had a full-time qualified financial director, finance director. I know our last qualified finance director was Georgina, and I don't remember what year she left. I know it was like maybe 17 or 18, something like that. I wasn't here, but that was the last full-time finance director we had here. And I've sat up here many, many times and said, an audit is only as good as the information that's presented. And the information that we've been presenting is not the full entire look of Pembroke Park's finances and where we're actually at. So the audit is only a partial glimpse into what we have going on here in Pembroke Park, and it's what we actually submit to them, not them just coming in blanketly and looking at all of our books.
So we have
Well,
brought in.
there seems to be a misunderstanding on what the CAFR actually covers. The Comprehensive Annual Financial Audit is the requirements to the state to make sure basically that your books they take a sample. They're not going through every single day. They're not going through every single general ledger for every single account. They're not going through all of your timesheets. They're not going through all of that. That is not what a comprehensive annual financial audit is. A comprehensive annual financial audit is we take a snippet here, and whatever the sample is that your finance director gives you, if it comes back okay, you are free and clear. That is what your comprehensive annual financial audit is. Right now, I just handed you guys 2 copies of the last 2 audits that were done for the town. They had findings. When we had this discussion last year, they had findings. They have sent today to the city attorney, the city manager and the city attorney, or city manager, somehow between you guys got a copy of findings today that are going to be repeated findings yet again, that's going to be done and sent up to the state on June 30th. Of, again, repeat findings. What you do with your comprehensive annual financial audit is how you get those changes done. If you implement nothing and it continues to stay the same, you're going to get the same repeat findings, which was why we got in trouble last year with JLAC for having the same exact repeat findings from the year before. So we're paying people to look at our stuff. The people are coming back saying, hey, you have a problem. You need to fix A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. But at no point in time are we actually fixing the things that they're telling you that need to be fixed. You have findings, if you turn to the second page, current findings, year before findings, year before that finding, current finding, expense and accounts payable, observation. During our audit, we noted the following related to the cutoff and review of expenses and account payables. Invoices are not recorded in the system on a regular and timely basis. The account payable invoice reports generated by the system are not reviewed by a supervisor to ensure that all invoices are recorded. Accounts payable per the general ledger were not reconciled to the accounts payable schedule or the open invoices reported by the system. That was a 2023 findings. There's your recommendation. There's your management response. Your management's response is, we acknowledge the findings and appreciate the recommendations provided. Did that say we fixed it? No.
Let's get back to.
Understanding that. We know right now, as it stands.
This is before James Staverman became finance director, so.
Okay, I'm going to stop you.
How's that relevant?
Nope, I'm going to stop you because, Dave, can you please pull up the letter from James Moore that they just sent today that says repeat findings? I don't have that one in front of me. I have the,
No.
okay. But I'm going to just say yet again, you have repeat findings. Again, you have the same thing. Internal controls over petty cash. No, I don't have that. Unexpended fund balance. Unexpended fund balance is the same thing that I'm like basically screaming bloody murder on this ARPA because of the fact that it was not done in a timely.
We eliminated petty cash.
Impact fees accounting.
Okay.
Okay, you have all of these findings. Then today, you just got a letter from the auditor saying, hey, you're gonna have the same repeat findings. I'm looking at it now. Reconciliation of account balances and audit adjustments. Timeliness of bank reconciliations, expenses and accounts payable, purchase policies and cash disbursement, capital assets, internal controls over petty cash, unexpended fund balance, impact fee accounting, qualified public depositor.
What year are you reading from?
Assistant backup.
What year are you reading from?
This is dated
year?
May 5th, 2026 at 4:28 p.m. So that was exactly how long ago? 20, well, no,
Okay,
20,
can we take-
27 hours ago.
Can we-
27 hours ago. This is the account. No,
Okay.
no. I want to put this on the record because
One
every time I
item-
say something, there seems to be an issue with me trying to bring things forward in order to help. And when I say these things, it goes through one ear and out the other, or it's an attack on me and it's an accusation of what I'm trying to bring forward in order to fix it. So I'm trying to get this out here before you guys attack me again on this because we have issues in the finance department and everybody wants to sit here and stick their head in the sand and say everything's running perfectly and hunky-dory when we have all of these reports in her saying we have a problem. I don't want to be caught on the back end next year for having $3.38 million clawed back. We did not allocate these funds in a timely manner. We need somebody to come in and deal with negotiating with the feds to make sure that we don't get a $3.38 million clawback. You have other reports in front of you that are showing you that there's issues. This is the same auditing firm that you guys are sitting here talking about. They sent a letter 27 hours ago telling you you have the same findings that you had last year and the year before, and you want to tell me that the finance director was not there the year before, but you still have the same exact findings 27 hours ago. So somebody has to explain that to me.
May I ask how many findings are there versus last year? Has the number reduced in any way?
I seen this exactly
items-
10 minutes before the meeting. 10 minutes before the meeting. That's when I got this in my hand.
I just got it just now as
Okay.
I said it.
Okay, let's just take one thing at a time and get the finance director
And let's not-
a chance to answer the
Let's
questions.
not take everything that people say as some sort of personal attack on you.
Well, every
You're
time I
supposed to
try
be
to
giving
speak,
us, you're giving us information that we never had till like now.
well, no, you guys
And-
signed
no, no,
this.
no.
You-
Wait, hold
was
on.
signed.
Ashura. Wait, I gotta say
I'm sorry.
something.
Go ahead.
This is not new information. We've been discussing this information 6 years with you, 4 or 3.5 years with Morset and Mosfika. We've been saying this over and over again. When you guys came in, very first meeting, I said we had $2 million missing. I said we needed to get a outside finance company in here. That's the only way to fix the finances. And I went to JLAC. I went to the chair of JLAC, asking him to do a full-blown audit of this town because our finances are in that bad a shape. I've been everywhere trying to get this fixed, and you guys keep kicking it aside, and you don't care what I have to say. You don't like me, that's fine, but I'm here to fix this place. Ashura is here to fix this place. Mosfika is here to fix this place. and you two were elected to do the same.
Okay, can
May I
we?
be allowed to speak, sir?
Everything we say to the side and not listening, Assure has been saying the same thing that I've been saying. And here we are. I think that says $1.7 million now. And I brought that fund up at the last meeting. We can't have $1.7 million. You're going to have to figure out how to give that back to the taxpayers if you don't get it spent.
Okay, let me ask them.
$1,000 over. These
Okay.
are serious problems in our finance department.
We are not disputing that there are issues. We need to find out how to fix them, and we are asking questions to the finance the director, and everybody's just talking. So let's take one thing at a time, and then we give him a chance to answer, because there's a lot of accusations here.
I'm looking through the status of the 2024 audit findings. Here's an example: timeliness of bank reconciliations. Improvement noted. Additional testing is needed to confirm consistency throughout the year. That's one of the items that we attacked. They've listed it as an improvement here. So they didn't accuse us of repeating this finding. They just listed the findings that we had last year and offered commentary on it. So I just wanted to clarify that, for the commissioners. I'm looking at another one. Expenses and accounts payable. Status to be determined upon completion of accounts payable testing. We're still in the middle of testing it. I can tell you that we pay our bills within net 30. And we have an approval trail where we pay our bills. Can you go
okay,
to the
I'm gonna stop you for-
next slide, Cynthia?
No, let him finish.
No, he need to finish his answer.
Well, I have a question about waste management and how come they haven't been paid. I also have a question why Grant Writer hasn't been paid. I also have a question why Craig Smith hasn't been paid. Because there's so many accounts that are still not being paid. And I'm also getting emails and letters sent to my mailbox that I'm constantly handing off right here now is more bills that are not being paid in the finance department. And I shouldn't have to be overseeing them.
Well, bills need to be looked at before they're paid. Number one, I know that Jeff Odoms knows this too as well, is that we've been billed by some of our architectural firms and engineering firms, and they just go in there, 5 guys, 10 hours or whatever. They don't even say what project it's on. And we've been getting bills like that.
But I just don't want our
we
garbage
need-
sitting there.
We need a little more understanding of how we're going to bill people, how people are going to invoice us and make sure that they're
Yeah.
doing it correctly.
And billing us in a timely manner,
In a
because
timely
we
manner.
certainly got a major catch-up to do with Craig Smith, because they, have forgotten to
Yeah,
invoice us.
from 2 years ago. Whatever.
There were 2 out of 11 invoices that were not invoiced. 2 out of 11. But our garbage is invoiced every month, and I'd like to make sure that we don't have rats running down the street.
James, you want to continue?
Internal control over petty cash. Follow-up with the town is ongoing. We eliminated the petty cash program last year. We deposited it all in a bank. It's not going to be a recurring item. Qualified public depositor report, resolved, filed November 21st, 2025, on time. So there are only about 4 items here that are likely to repeat, which would be a significant improvement versus the prior year. So I just wanted to put that on the record as well, based on what I'm reading here.
Any other questions?
Discussion?
Well, I mean, the first one, we were still trying to have the ARPA conversation, and I would like to bring in an auditor. I don't care who you guys pick. I just know I want an audit because I don't want to be stuck paying $3.38 million back next year.
If it's a
So
well-represented.
we all-
Whatever company you
We
guys
all receive 5
please just pick a
companies.
company.
Okay, so the Mori is on,
That,
is already working with us.
Huh?
That company is already working with us.
they're doing
So
the
we are
risk
good.
assessment.
So we are trying to give,
I
that's why
need
the
a
attorney
offer.
is advising us for to give it to them.
Who do you want to do? I mean, he advised that they would be.
How about putting it out for bid? That'd be an original idea.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
You're going to be short on time to put it out to bid. I don't care who you guys pick. Just pick somebody. That's what I'm going to say. I don't care. I just
So,
need a.
I
need
got
an
a-
auditor to
I got
come
a
in and
question
look
for
this
you.
over.
Ashura,
Yes.
here's my thought. Are we bringing in a company to take over and run our finance department?
That's on the
Yes, that is the point, which it is coming.
7.2, which we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah, I see it on here. So my question is, if we're bringing someone in to come in and take over the finance department, I don't think there's a reason, which I 100% wholeheartedly agree we need a financial audit of the finances in this town. But if we're bringing in an outside company to straighten up the books, that's exactly what we need. We'd be doubling up the effort by bringing in a company to do a forensic audit. If we're bringing someone to come in to fix the books at the same time, they would be doing more or less the same job.
No, I'm not asking for a forensic audit. I need somebody to just literally handle just us dealing with this ARPA stuff. We need somebody to come in and deal with the fact that we have all these encumbrances that's completely separate and apart from this ARPA situation. We need to get a handle on it because we've already spent most of the money, but we still have money left to spend that we might not be getting, that we might be clawing back and having to pay them $3 million. That the finance department itself with all the other stuff is completely like a whole nother
So why don't you
ball of
just
wax.
commit that money to the park department or something?
Because we might have to pay the federal government back $3.38 million next year for all the stuff that was spent out,
Not
including
if you spend them this year.
You didn't spend the 3.38. We didn't build a ramp on somebody's house. We didn't build a shed somewhere. We didn't pay police funds. We didn't pay for badges. We didn't pay for, let me go through the ARPA list, sorry. Government hazard pay, second floor renovation, paving, resurfacing, police badges, third floor furnishing, vac truck, all those things we didn't pay for. So that vac truck ain't sitting outside. Because that's the issue, is that we have an issue where we might be stuck having to pay them back because the only invoice that was done before the deadline was item number 7, police equipment badges. That's why I'm saying we have a problem, and somebody outside of us needs to be the one looking at this.
I never object to any audit, never. I think it's fine, but accusing a department for not doing their job just because somebody might want to privatize the department.
That's not what I'm
I don't
saying.
think that's a good solution. And I would like to have Mr. Davidman comment on these things that are obviously not paid by ARPA.
On the subject of audits, I have no issue with external firms coming in to look at the books. Again, as a finance department, you have to expect some scrutiny because you're dealing with taxpayer dollars. I can tell you that town is solvent. I ran a fund balance as of yesterday, $23.6 million fund balance. I sent the bank accounts to both Commissioner Mohammed and the town manager on Friday. $18 million in there. So questions about our solvency that I keep hearing, I just wanted to put those to bed immediately.
Thank you.
There is a risk with the ARPA item, potentially. It's hard getting someone at the Treasury Department to take your phone call or respond to an email. So we haven't been able to directly interface with the government to discuss it. But the main rule is things had to be obligated a certain way by December 31st, 2024. But our previous town manager, submitted a list of projects very late in the process, and that's what triggered what you're seeing now and what you're hearing now.
That's before your time.
I was here about a month and a half at the time, but I didn't manage.
Did he actually get some kind
program.
of approval to submit that late?
No, it was just, here's the list, let's get it in front of the commission, and then it crossed over into January of that year.
Right.
And so that's what we're dealing with potentially. So I have no issue with bringing an outsider to help us negotiate holding on to those funds and preventing a clawback. I actually think it's a very good idea and something that we should be pursuing proactively. And aside from that, I keep, again, hearing about issues with the town's finances, but nothing specific. And so, I'm here to answer any questions to put the commission's mind at ease, or at least give them the information they need to make decisions going forward.
Okay. May I ask, Talina, you were here at that time period that's being discussed. Do you have any comment on that?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. No, I don't, I don't have any comment. Sometimes government finances can be a little bit tricky, especially with grants. ARPA was something new that was thrown at a lot of governments. I think as long as the funds have to be spent by December 31st, 2026. Actually, you got to get rid of that. There is a little bit of leeway. Could be some leeway with how obligated the funds are. I don't have any data right now. I was actually looking it up on the Treasury's website to see if they pulled money back from local governments. They know that local governments have needs. But your current auditors, James Moore and Associates, they could tell you if you're in compliance or not. They have access to the IRS's documentation. That's what they do for a living as a auditing firm. And, that would be my recommendation that would be your first stop. You already have them as a vendor. They're your external auditors, and you can actually pose them these questions, and they will be able to direct you perfectly.
Thank you. Do you have James, do you have the information of that auditor?
James Moore and Company, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, David.
Vice Mayor? Yeah, I'd like to offer, we are, in the next item, or not the next item, but in 7.2, we're going to talk about a financial services firm, not to come in and replace the finance department, but to replace the finance director and to direct, but also to help us with several main things that need to get done in a timely way. They're going to help make sure that the audit, that the financial audit, the CAFR gets done on time, is presented to you on the 10th and delivered to the state on the 30th of June. They're going to help us with the tentative millage rate, which has to be adopted, submitted by either July 30th or July 1st, I can't remember which. And that's going to be needs to be presented to the commission on June 10th as well. And then they're going to help us put together a budget for you all to consider in August. That's different from what Commissioner Mohammed is talking about. Now, if the commission can give us some direction, I will do one of two things, or both. I will contact the auditors, the state auditors, the CAFR auditors tomorrow, and ask them if they can guide us on the compliance issue with ARPA. At the same time, the attorney and I could explore finding a firm that specializes in ARPA to help guide us with the compliance issue.
Is there a reason they can't do that with our existing staff?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Commissioner. I could ask our existing auditor if they feel comfortable in guiding us on the compliance issue, and then the first time I'd be able to report back would be at the next commission meeting, the regular commission meeting. Although,
David, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That is the reason we are having the special tonight, because we are in the short. All receive the 5 farms. Choose any one, and then we can go for it. It doesn't mean like we have to figure it out what is it, where we are. So we don't have to specific tell, okay, well, we can vote for it. That's fine. We can go for that.
well, Vice Mayor, that's the other thing I could do, is I could contact we're going to recommend a firm that would be the financial services firm that would actually
Who's we?
lead the Vice Mayor and I. We would make the recommendation, and I would contact them and find out if they feel like they could guide us on the compliance issue. But we need to, that is a very important issue that has, as the Vice Mayor was saying, we need to get on top of that immediately. And we've already taken some steps to to contact agencies that are city-related, that are city-specific agencies, to reach out to them and ask for their help. So we're as soon as we discovered this, we started to move towards trying to formulate a strategy on like, how do we deal with this? And so I just need, like a direction from you, the commission.
So where does relieving James have to do with any of what you just said?
I think this.
I don't even see the connection.
Well,
Okay, first and foremost.
that's not my,
Well, you're the town
There were
manager.
several, okay, but there are several things on the table right now. The first one was the ARPA review. That's the first thing, is getting direction and moving that one off the table right quick.
Yes.
So, for me, I liked your choice B of you would call some firms and come back to us and seeing who would be the best person to go about doing this. That would be my,
Okay.
my
I'm
choice.
ready to take, I want your direction. You tell me what you want me to do. I'll do it.
Okay, so that would be my direction. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I would prefer for him to go and find somebody who would specialize in this and bring it back, get it done, and just deal with it up, an amount not to exceed, what, $25,000? What's your spending threshold?
Mr. Daverman,
And if the commission
would that be helpful to you, or do you not need that help?
Quite honestly, I could be completely mistaken here, but we've got Dee Carper. I think she'd be a pretty good resource as far as following up with this potentially. She understands grants in and out. And
ARPA's not a grant.
No, that was a emergency program
And maybe we
during
can get some help
economical
for her,
crisis.
from her. So, but we
Can you find an accounting auditing firm? This is my request. This is going to be, I make a motion that we found an accounting auditing firm, give David the authority to hire that firm for up to $25,000 to deal with the ARPA compliance.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there
okay.
questions?
No, I support that. Are you're good with that, right?
yes,
If I
sir.
might just state for the record, I'm going to assume that motion is made in the best interest.
Can you please speak into the mic, please?
Yes, sir.
No.
No, thank you, Madam Clerk. I'm just going to assume and confirm with Commissioner Mohammed that motion is made in the best interest of the town for the manager to independently hire a professional service provider pursuant to our procurement code in an amount not to exceed $25,000. That contract will not come back to the commission. We'll review that agreement for legal sufficiency. The scope will be limited to an audit of the ARPA program as discussed this evening. The limited dollar amount of that engagement will not exceed $25,000.
Okay. Does the whole commission agree to this?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to do roll call.
And Mayor?
You have a motion and a second.
Yeah.
Mayor, can you hear? Did you hear that?
Yeah, you guys have
Good.
best firm in all of Florida as your current auditors, and this is what they do. It's probably not even going to be near $25,000, and they have direct access to tell you exactly what you should do, how you should do it. Matter of fact, they will even file all the appropriate documentation. So reach out to James Moore. They'll direct you. They do this for a living, and they're wonderful. They will help you in this instance.
Okay.
Mayor Jacobs?
Do you want to continue your presentation?
I'm sorry.
Well,
What,
you need,
Want to do the roll call first?
what do you say?
Roll call, please.
Okay.
Along for
Commissioner Mohammed,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Morissette,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kashem,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion carries.
we will work with the manager consistent with the commission's direction.
Thank you.
All right. So can we continue the presentation that we
Yes.
stopped in the middle?
Now you got 6.2.
6.2 now, right?
Yes, please.
Report from the Finance Department, Finance Director Department.
I don't think we got finished with 6.1, did we?
Yes.
Yes, we,
Okay.
Yeah.
So So this is an example of an internal control weakness. Here you had a single employee who created an invoice, approved her own invoice, and then processed it. That violates the principle of segregation of duties, which is one of the oldest ones in GAP and GASB compliance. You need to have someone enter it, you need to have someone approve it, and you need to have a third person document. And so that gives you a lot of audit risk when you do it. Another major risk of doing something like this is that if you don't meet with the department head to confirm that the services were provided at the rate on the invoice, you could end up making a duplicate payment, you can end up paying a ghost vendor, or even worse, and then you'll be out of compliance. So just very basic blocking and tackling issue. And so what we did was, in the system, we implemented a clear chain of approval for each invoice. You get the invoice, you meet with the department head approves it, confirms that the services were provided at the rate received. Then it moves on to myself, and then it moves on to the town manager. And at the end, when the checks are cut, one of the commissioners will come in and give us a wet signature, and we're out the door. And so that was just a very easy way to put an internal control into the process. So again, segregation of duties and approval chain.
Thank you.
We had an issue with the bank reconciliation.
That one.
Oh, sure.
Go ahead.
When did that implementation go into place?
Early last year. I would say very soon after the audit was submitted.
Okay, so I'm gonna give two examples and I'm gonna ask a question. So, one is that blanket email for if any commissioner wants to know, how did that get to the manager for signature and approval? If there was a blanket approval. Then second, all last year, it got to the point where basically I had to have my signature removed because I was getting checks that were stamped by myself and also stamped by Hodgkins. So I had a ton of checks up until basically I had to have my signature removed from the system so that I could stop getting checks stamped with signatures. So to see this policy be listed here as something that was like done and fixed, but yet we know that there's an blanket email. There's also the fact that the manager never actually went into Tyler to like sign off on checks and things. How is it that system supposedly changed? I don't know about you, Dave, if you're in Tyler now, but I know that the other Dave was not in Tyler. Okay, but the other Dave was not in Tyler, and that's like only up until like a month ago. So you're telling me last year, but like when did this really go like fully into effect? Because I still have checks with my signature and Hodgkin's signature that was never signed by either one of us with a live signature.
No, we had your digital signatures in the system, and you sent us an email requesting to remove yours, and then so we removed it.
I didn't see it, so how are these checks signed?
Well, it went through department head, finance director, and town manager on the end, and so we thought
Dave didn't sign
that
it
was
because
sufficient.
he didn't want to have it.
But David actually was in Tyler.
Yeah, Lisette, so would you explain how you do it? Because she made me work hard with signing all these checks. So
Yes, good evening.
Because I got tired of seeing my signature.
yeah, so that,
I never saw before.
she's getting back.
There's $1 million check out there somewhere.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Yes, Commissioner Mohammed is correct. We had pre-signatures in the checks, but then it was an ordinance, and I think it was an ordinance that you guys requested not to have already signatures in the checks, to have a wet signature. And in that moment, when everything was approved, we removed her signature, and that's when I start with Vice Mayor coming and Commissioner Morset as well to start signing the checks. So to avoid that issue, we took care of that in that department. And in reference to the advance for, but you were mentioning before, there are two different processes. That was payroll, and this is accounts payable.
And David had access to Tyler?
Yes, David had access to Tyler, and every week I will be next to him, walking him through how to approve those invoices, the same thing that I do with the new town manager.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As far as the bank reconciliation, I created a checklist to ensure that we reconciled all our bank balances within 20 business days of the end of the previous month. One of our audit findings was that we often went months without reconciling our bank accounts. Part of it had to do with missing checks. There'd be checks that were discrepant that we just did not resolve. There would be checks waiting in the queue that didn't get approved to go out. And so we would, when we did our bank reconciliation, you'd see something missing and we would sit on it for months. So now we're able to reconcile our bank accounts within 20 days. And that's noted as an improvement here in this letter that James Moore submitted. I also want to add that I instituted a process of review that was pretty comprehensive. Now, to explain to non-accountants is basically if there's a missing item when you're reconciling, it's usually due for one of four reasons. There's either a timing issue, someone put in backdated or put in wrong date. It's a miscode, coded something in the wrong account. There's an omission or there's a duplication. Using the 80-20 rule, when you cover these four things, 95% of the time you'll be able to figure it out very quickly. And so I instituted a checklist that had us go through all of that review process. And we also automate the checks into the system so that we can spot the discrepancies at the point of execution. And so we have a standardized cadence, supervisory review, where I approve, and then we did a one-time historical cleanup to take care of a backlog of all the checks and discrepant invoices that we had. And so now our bank reconciliation cycle has been considerably shortened. And so that's something I consider, very good accounting operations execution item.
So that's a win.
Yes. For years, one of the audit findings that the town always had was on fixed assets because we had a very low capitalization threshold. We had it at $250. Most municipalities have it at $5,000. The issue with having it at $250 is that, let's say you buy a printer that costs $300 one year, and then you have to depreciate it over the next 5 to 7 years. It's going to be worthless at some point. Some department will end up having junked it, and you're going to spend a lot of man hours and a lot of audit hours trying to track it and properly depreciate it even when it's worthless. So you're wasting all of this time, money, and energy on something that has no value to the town. By raising it to $5,000.
So that covers particularly computer equipment, things like that.
Yes, everything of value to the town. So that narrows our focus. It reduces the amount of time that we spend chasing around items that have no value. It reduces our audit billing.
Depreciation methods. Jacobs, when did you change that? 'Cause I know when Georgina was here, we did straight line depreciation.
Yeah, we do.
Recall we did.
The only issue.
I'm asking because when Georgina Rodriguez was here, we didn't have that issue because we did straight line depreciation and we depreciate stuff out. So I was asking Mayor Jacobs if he did something when I left that would have created that issue.
We've been eating audit findings on fixed assets pretty consistently. So this is a way to mitigate that risk somewhat. And again, at that price, at that floor, we'll have the time and the resources and the assets to properly run these depreciation schedules over time. And so that can potentially be a win because we've mitigated audit risk significantly here.
Is there a system, Dave? Is there a system in place where we get rid of the stuff before it becomes worthless?
Well, we have a system that tracks all of the fixed assets that we buy because we had a very ancient system. That was another thing. We had to borrow personnel. We had Charlene working on, putting things into an outdated system. And so now we have a system called WASP. Mark and Marlon run it in accordance with the finance department. We're able to tag these items early, and we're able to see the depreciation schedule in real time. And so that will help us, with fixed assets going forward.
Can I have Lisette comment on that, please? Now, remember we had that discussion before because a lot of computer equipment get outdated in very short time, and tracking something that's outdated is not really
Just
financially.
It's worthless. Mark has a very robust disposal process for things that no longer hold any value.
I can comment on that if.
Yes, please.
Yes, James and I, we instituted WASP The old system was outdated. We have been surplusing. We just finished the last year a large amount of computer equipment and other things around the town. We're actually working on a new batch to bring to you in the fall that we're going to be surplusing. That should clear us out of a lot of the old stuff that we have. But we have systems in place that we do work with the finance department.
Yeah, just to add a little bit about that. Right now, Tyler, I discovered that we have been paying for fixed asset, and we have not been using the module. And now we have Smart Cups, and those two combined. That's my project that I would like to be completing to flag any asset that is greater than $5,000, and so Tyler can be automatically adding the asset as well because there are different modules. But in Tyler, if we had the fixed asset, why don't we take advantage if we're paying for it? That's all what I want.
Thank you.
We created an expense tracking form for events. A couple times early in the year, we received requests to specifically audit a couple of events that the town had, the toy giveaway, the holiday lighting, some of the big stuff over the holidays. And that was a very labor-intensive ask. We were in the middle of an audit, and we had to go and pull invoices, POs, etc., trying to piece together, how the event went well. Now, fortunately, we keep very meticulous records, and so that helped. But we created this form to enable us to track in real time what it takes to organize a particular event for this town. We have the vendor on the left, what we pay on the right, and it updates every year so that we can make a direct comparison to last year's costs, so we know whom to call, and we understand if we're being overcharged or if there's a significant price increase, we'll know we can go track another vendor. So by putting this together and tracking it in real time, if we ever get another request to audit an event for the town, we have everything lined up here waiting for us. So this saves us a lot of time, it saves us a lot of labor, and it enables us to bring in, to narrow down the cost of running an event, because we can see in real time what we paid last year and understand whether we're getting a good deal or not. And so, we use this for all of our events. Now, we used it for the extravaganza, and we ended up coming in under budget. And so, once again, great benefit for the town. Wow. We already had the ARPA discussion. The purchase order cycle used to take almost 2 weeks to get a purchase order in the system and approved through all levels. Now we turn it around in 48 hours. And the real reason is because our team had a procurement administrator added, and it's basically her job to oversee all the purchase orders, negotiate with the departments, close the ones that are in disuse, and itemize the ones that are being opened so that our invoices match. We do what's known as a three-way match to ensure that we're paying things properly. Purchase order has to match the receipt, has to match the invoice. We can guarantee that we'll turn your purchase order in 48 hours, which is 80% faster than what we've done prior. So we've eliminated most of the bottlenecks. We used to do manual entry. Different people would enter different POs. No one really understand the rules of entering all of the POs. We have one person who they get funneled through, who provides advice to whoever needs to enter it so that they're done consistently and on a timely basis. This is an example of finance being used to help with decision support analysis. Last year, we had a very contentious start to the budget negotiations with police. And so I was asked to run a couple of scenarios. I did some scenario analysis and ran some scenarios to see what the impact to the budget would be at certain step levels and at certain starting salary levels for police. I ran a best case, a worst case, and a base case. And the idea was to keep the police budget from exceeding 30% of the town's total revenues. You look at most emergency services, fire and police combined, they tend to consume about 65% of town budgets. And so we wanted to ensure that we were giving the police the best deal possible, and that we were negotiating in good faith while protecting the town's finances over the long term. And so we were able to, get them the option D, which gave them a 5.5% step increase, and 10% total when you add the two together.
James, I think we need to take a break here because these gentlemen here and ladies don't seem to be listening.
Well, I've read the report already.
Okay,
We've already actually generated some other reports based on what we've seen.
so you're good with him?
I've already read it, so I mean.
Okay.
Would you like for me to go
Perfect.
over it with you?
No, it's just it's a wee bit disturbing that there are two conversations going on at the same time.
But you can't hear our conversation.
So we've been hiring very experienced officers as a result of this, and police department remains one of the town's biggest successes. When we went zero-based, our total budget ended up being 2% higher than the previous year. So we didn't suffer from any of the deleterious effects of inflation or anything like that. We're able to properly fund the town and properly fund the priorities that we want to execute. We adopted our first capital improvements element in 11 years. Covers about 18 projects, $36 million investment. We filed it with the Department of Commerce. We did it on time. The deadline's December. And so now we have a compliance framework that's aligned with every Florida statute regarding your capital projects plans going forward over the next 5 years. We were able to get the audit done on time because we instituted a continuous audit process. What that basically means, at the point of execution, I need us to be audit compliant. Previously, we would do things like apply an invoice or wait to do the GL entry. We would do payroll and then wait to do the GL entry because the department had a very small number of staff, so they were very overextended. And so now, what a continuous audit does is that whenever there's a transaction, you execute the transaction, you get it approved, you do the journal entry, and then you document it. Those 4 steps. So you have to do that at the point of execution with every transaction so that when the auditors come to you, you have your paperwork ready, you have your files ready, and you can pull whatever you need to pull in terms of support to upload into their system. And the auditors in their letter, they mentioned that the audit is currently this year, approximately 80% of the audit has been completed and has undergone first level review. So we're making great time by switching to a continuous audit process. And all it means is I need to make sure we're audit ready at the point of execution. And if you have a 10% failure rate when you submit support and anything is missing or anything is wrong, you potentially fail it. But again, we're 80% of the way through, with 2 months left. So, we're on a great trajectory there as a result of this enhancement. And this is just celebrating the success of having a procurement administrator on board. Finance and procurement had previously been separate. And so once we brought in procurement, we were able to have 7 multi-department training sessions. We have that 48-hour turnaround on purchase orders. Every new hire has to go through a procurement training process. And obviously they learn a handbook and they learn our purchasing policy, but they go through procurement training with Stephanie. And she's also helped complete the RFP and bid process. She's completed about $200,000 worth of them. So she sits in on that as well. She sits in on CCNA. And so she's an effective funnel for all of these strategic initiatives in the town. She helps with compliance and oversight. She helps with risk management. And so just helps everything run more smoothly. And we developed several standardized forms to kind of help things along. We have a check request form because for non-travel reimbursements. Prior to that, we were all over the place with processing checks, and we keep them in a specific tracker so we know what was spent, what was cut on what day. We have an event expense form. We have a travel reimbursement form, but what we did was add an update to it where you just enter your mileage and you just enter your days and it automatically calculates everything for you. So there's no more errors. There are no more reconciliations on the back end. There are no more errors trying to get you your reimbursement when you travel and trying to figure out what the correct amount you spent was. We have a financial reporting calendar tracker. one thing I noticed when I got here is that the town was always out of compliance because of some of the turnover that we had earlier. We never really knew when to submit what. Whenever I got an email or whenever I got some sort of automated email, I plugged it into the spreadsheet, created a financial reporting tracker, and so now I know or can expect to know what dates certain things are due. For example, I know trim is coming up. I know June 1st. Okay, that's when I'll be able to get, the millage rate, for the town. It's plugged into the calendar.
Requirements, those are, everybody like, and they mama know that the audit's due June 30th. Everybody also knows that, your budget calendar, when it's due to the state, you can't have it on the same 2 meetings as the school board. You know that, don't you, Mr. Roach? I'm just saying, like, when you say that, like, I mean, it kind of gives the assumption that nobody knew, but yet we got the audit in on time for 21, well, out of the last 21 years I was here, we got the audit in on time. So all the auditors know. If the auditors don't know that the audit's due June 30th, then that's a problem with your auditors that you hired, not us. And the auditors always start sending out the documentations back in like October, November, because they usually do their field meetings in January. And I'm not in the audit department, but I know this off the top of my head. And I mean, how many times has Eric, how many times have you been asked by Jacobs, when's the audit due? June 30th, all the time. Like, I mean, I appreciate your presentation. I'm sorry, I really.
No, I can't tell you how many random
when
forms
you're saying
I had to
things
fill
that
out.
don't make sense to me, that's when I have an issue. And the fact that we're sitting here and it's now 7:15 on a meeting that was called at 6 o'clock, and we're listening to this, and some of the stuff that there's so many inconsistencies in what's being said and presented to this commission, and I have an issue with that. I really have an issue with that because I'm sitting here and I'm listening and it's like, oh, we fixed all of these things, but no, we haven't, because we have all of these accounts that have encumbrances. We have all of these negative accounts. We have things that are not being paid, and there's so many issues, and there's audit findings, and there's repeat audit findings, and there's no action being taken to correct these audit findings on behalf of this dais whose job it is to create policy. And so, I mean, there's so many issues here, and I'm sitting here listening, and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, if anybody knows that the audit ain't due June 30th, needs to leave the building right now. Like, that's what I'm going to say. Don't even think about it, Brad.
So now,
But I think everybody back there knows the audit's due June 30th. If there's anybody back here who doesn't know the audit's due June 30th, please raise your hand right now.
all right.
Okay, because this is frustrating, because I got to get on the road. I got a 19-hour drive ahead of me, literally right now. And I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm like, okay, are we going to get to the meat and potatoes of what's going on? Because we had this meeting for some of these things because there's so many issues that are going on. You have negative accounts. Why do we have negative accounts? That's what I'd like to know. How did we get to negative accounts? Because if you're doing a zero-based balance, how do you start with an account that's negative? And then how do you keep drawing on these negative accounts? I'm sorry, go ahead. I know you're.
I mean, if an account is negative and
And not
there's
only that, it's all over the
That was a
budget.
question. Can we have him answer it, please?
Yeah, but we can finish it, but where would the issue we have-
I'm done. This just says we cleared a 6-month fuel tax filing backlog when we got there, and now we actually get money back each month on it. These are the things we want to do next year. Again, and that's it. To answer your question, encumbrances are not expenditures. I've tried to explain that several times, but the best way to make sense of it is they're basically reservations that you make to help you plan your spending better. If you have a negative line item, but then you have positive offsets throughout the department that offset it, then you're in fine shape. There's no GASB violation. There's no GAP violation. Mr. DeLina, while you were finance director here, did you?
He's left.
Oh, he left?
Left the building.
We had to go. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I was asking him the question because he was the one I conferred with over this, and he said you have budget authority at the fund level, goes down to department, down to line item. If you have a negative line item, but you have offsets that give you a positive variance, you don't have to go to each line item and try to make it positive. First of all, it's impossible to accurately forecast thousands of line items in an entire fund and an entire department.
But that's what a budget is for. No. That literally, I'm not gonna go work at McDonald's and flip a burger and try to go live in Bell Harbor, because it ain't gonna match. Okay, it's just not gonna match. In government, we kind of pretty much know for the most part what things are costing us. That's why we have a budget. So that's why I'm not understanding when we sit here and say, hey, we're gonna spend, okay, your employee contribution for your retirement fund. That should never have like any kind of negatives, because you know your employees, you know what their salaries are, because you kind of sit there and set your salary unless you're screwing something up in the middle of the year. You know what your salary is coming in. Did you not get a letter from Brad saying, hey, I'm offering you a job for $25 an hour? You know how much taxes they're taking out. You know how much. That's what a budget is for. So I'm just not understanding, because when Howard was on this dais, when Gina was on this dais, even our forms, our agenda cover sheets, it has a financial implication. It's supposed to go to finance and say, hey, do we have this money budgeted or not? If I'm asking for money and it's not a budgeted item, I'm asking you, hey, can you take money from someplace else to cover this? And then we do those amendments and whatnot. But when we sit here and have general ledgers that don't have actual money in it, are coming in with negative at the start of the year, I'm a little confused, because we knew what we was getting from the state. You set the millage rate. We know how much we getting from all these residents and how much they're going to be paying between November and January of each year, because everybody tries to jump up and pay their tax bill in November. But if not, by March, if your tax bill ain't paid, you're going to end up on a tax lien on the courthouse steps. So you know how much money you're getting in for the most part. And we do plan our budgets to have that little 10% cushion. But like when you're starting with like negative here, negative there, negative da-da-da-da-da-da, how do you do that?
I mean, first of all, a simple budget transfer fixes that. And you're talking about a cosmetic issue.
That's not cosmetic.
And it is cosmetic because, once again, if you have the positive offsets and your variance is positive, you're not in violation of anything. Yeah,
but
now,
it's just general.
It's just
general
very
budgeting. Okay, I'm
tedious.
going to Bell Harbor. Can somebody give me a loan? I want to move to Bell Harbor. I want a nice house on the beach.
We don't have the bandwidth, quite honestly, to go line by line to do
Really?
this.
Georgina did it for all these years.
We spent a week putting this together. Where would we have found the time to go line by line?
But you said you start with a zero balance, zero budget. Like, how do you start with a zero balance budget if stuff is coming in negative on day one? Like, you're literally, shouldn't you be resetting the system 000 all the way down and then plugging in those numbers like, GL account salaries? We all know we getting the same salary all year, don't we not? Are y'all giving me a raise? I appreciate it. Can I get a raise?
Yeah, but these numbers are offset. These accounts are offset with
There
cash.
shouldn't be offsets on standard things that you already know what it is. That's the whole thing about it. And you have certain accounts that are supposed to be paying for certain things, like sewer is supposed to be paid from the sewer fund, stormwater is supposed to be paid from the stormwater fund. Everything should be gelling smoothly because you kind of know where all this stuff is. This isn't rocket science. This isn't new, and this city's been around since 1957. So half these GLs are like still the same. I mean, like, this is not making sense to me, how things are just kind of like negative and all over the place.
Hey, Lizette, how far back did we go?
But we're in compliance, so I do not understand the criticism.
How far back did we go when we did our study
we're in
to see where negative line items were in the budget? How far back did we go? So as far back as 2023, it was the same. And that's why I was going to ask Mr. Delina while he was finance director, was this an item of concern of his? And his answer would have been no, because we have budget authority at the fund level, and it goes down to the department in the line item. And as long as you have offsets, and as long as your fund isn't negative, you're in full compliance. And again, he's one person. He would not have had time. You'd have to bring in an entire crew to go down line by line and make sure you're forecasting everything properly, and then do the budget transfers to get it done. Why? Because it's a cosmetic procedure, but it doesn't affect the status of your actual budget. It doesn't affect the money that you have to be spent. And encumbrances, again, are just reservations. We're talking about them as if they're money out the door, but they're not. One thing we realized going back to 2023, every year the budget rolled over, we would have a lot of open POs, a lot of POs in disuse, and they would get rolled over. And so the system would treat them as if they were projecting the budget negative, but when you ran the actuals versus budget, which is what we run in finance, and which is what our auditors want to see, and which is what we put together when we put together financial statements, you would see positive variances. The encumbrance is basically a way to help the person plan their spending and let you know, we've set aside this money, you can't touch X, Y, you can't touch it, you can touch the rest. And so budget transfers are simple fixes for that. But again, you would have to spend quite a bit of time doing budget transfers when we have audits to do, we have invoices to pay, we have day-to-day operations, we have to pull all of this stuff. When we get these requests, to audit events and to audit ARPA and to audit we're a very small finance team. And so we have, as a finance director,
What we had before, I could tell you that much.
also
They're much
bigger.
bigger.
It's also a bigger budget.
and as a finance director, I have to triage and prioritize accordingly. And I just did not prioritize individual line items when we had full budgetary authority at the fund level. And that's the reason.
Okay, but that's not good government. That's not GAP. GAP kind of says you need to fund your stuff. Commissioner Jacobs, how many
2023.
transfers have you done when you were mayor? Because I don't recall Georgina bringing a ton of budget amendments up to us. Wait, you're on mute. Unmute yourself, please.
Sorry, I think we had one budget amendment, if I can recall. We had to amend. But I don't think we had any more than that.
Yeah, I know when Georgina Rodriguez was the finance director and she was here even before I came in. I don't know.
So,
Mark, when did she come in?
sure, I'd like to bring something forward. When David Delina did the budget last time, I with Aline Gani, I called him out on the budget and said, this is absolutely bogus. This is you guys just trying to check a box. This isn't a budget. And that's when that was the time when our not finance director, when our assistant or interim town manager had to have the police escort to meet with me. So I remember this incident very well. It was hilarious. So they pushed that budget through knowing it was BS, and Delina said, oh, we'll just have to make amendments as we go along the way. We can do it every month. It's not a big deal. I'm like, that's not a budget. This is bogus. And all they were trying to do was get it done to check a box. That was it. It wasn't done correctly. It wasn't done properly, and there was no thought process put into it. It's not how you run a business. That's not how you run a city. That's not how you run a government.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just confused because, like, in 21 years, I've never seen.
This guy's never had a successful business in his life.
In 21 years of me being on this dais, I haven't seen our budget look like this, and I do recall during our budget. Yes.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to ask the chair to give Commissioner Hodgkins a warning for his commentary.
Okay,
He's sitting over there making comments about my personal business outside the dais. This is not what we're up here for.
Facebook there, bud.
Madam Vice Mayor.
Listen, public accounting and business accounting are two very different worlds. There's a lot more requirements for public accounting because it's taxpayers' money.
Well, I'm happy to show you the same thing for 2023.
Warn Mr. Hodgkins as his first warning for the meeting.
Town Attorney?
Thank you. Just one observation and comment I wanted to share for the record, given the discussion. There is a distinction in Florida law between a budget amendment, which has a very specific statutory definition and process, and a transfer of funds. They are different. A budget amendment means one of several things, and I just want to read for the record that the city, the town, at any time during the fiscal year or within 60 days following the conclusion of the fiscal year, the town may amend its budget in one of several ways. Appropriations for expenditures within a fund, within your general fund, within one of your enterprise funds, may be increased or decreased by motion, doesn't require resolution, doesn't require ordinance, that's recorded in the minutes, only if the total appropriations of that fund is not changed. And I guess I would ask our finance director whether there have been any changes to those total appropriations. Second, apart from that, the town is also entitled, has a right to establish procedures. I'm not aware that this has happened, but the town has a right to establish procedures by which a designated budget officer, finance director, or other professional in the town can authorize budget amendments. Again, so long as the total appropriations within a particular fund don't change. If the budget amendment changes, if the proposed transfer changes any ultimate appropriation within a fund, then it requires a formal amendment that would have to be adopted by the commission in the same manner in which the commission adopted the budget. We adopt our budget by resolution. There was a budget amendment resolution, as Mr. Daverman indicated, that was presented to you within the past 8 weeks. They can happen at any time during the course of the year. Transfers of funds are differently regulated, and they're not regulated.
Limit?
I'm sorry?
There is any limit for transferring the fund?
There is not. Again, as long as you're not doing one of those things I just said, which is a budget amendment, which requires either action of your professional staff if they've been delegated that authority, or a resolution of the commission if the appropriation, the total amount of the fund changes. But if you're moving money within a fund, typically that does not require commission action. If you're not changing the total appropriations, if you're moving line items within a budget that doesn't overall affect the entirety of the fund, then it would be considered a fund transfer, which can be regulated at the local level, but are not dictated by state law. So there's just a difference between a fund transfer and a budget amendment. Again, it's a nuance in the context of municipal finance, but legally they are different things. Just wanted to state that for the record. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you for clarifying that.
I do understand we do have issue since 2019, 2023. Well, Jim was not there at that time, but confirm appropriation violation, it was from yesterday. You did zero budget, law enforcement. We spent 218. There is a 13 account, all is negative. This is your term, James. It's not like being like 2023 or 19. Whatever you budgeting, 1900 something, other general government, we spending overrun 83,000. So it's like not one item, one account, is a several account coming that way. And can you open a PO against an account with no money in it? Is that compliance with the Florida law?
No, that doesn't. And for that, the simple fix is a budget transfer, which is why, again, you have the opportunity to do that if you submit a PO that projects your budget negative. But again, the PO is not money that you've spent. It's not money that you're spending. It's a set aside. And so that is why this is just an administrative action. We've never been written up for this. No auditor has ever brought this up. We've never had a write-up or a finding related to this.
Situations
But
before.
we did. We went back. We went as far back as 2023. We can show you it's been the same. It was the same in 2024 as well. And that is why we kept that practice going, because again, it's not practical to go line by line. I mean,
Okay, so then
I'd
how
love to do it.
How do cities do budgets if you're not going line by line to determine how much money you have to spend? Like, how do you do that? Because that's where the big question is coming in. I'm relying on my finance team to tell me how much money I have to spend for my egg hunt. I'm relying on my finance team to tell me how much so that I'm not going over budget. I like to go over budget. That's why I like to keep boyfriends. But because when I go over budget, I'll be like, honey, but there's no honey in the city. Are you guys gonna be my honey? I don't know. Like, I need honeys.
It is
Wait, I don't know, but the city doesn't have a sugar daddy. So I need to rely on the numbers coming from my finance department to tell me what I can and cannot spend without having to say, oh, well, we're going to move something here, we're going to move something there. Because when you're constantly moving something here and there because something's not funded, things are going to slip through the cracks, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of negatives, and somebody's going to be filing bankruptcy or going to the bank and asking for a loan.
Well, that's why we've
And
established.
we don't have that kind of money to ask for a loan because we ain't got that kind of money to pay the payments on the loan because we didn't budget right to begin with.
We are in no danger of any issues with solvency or liquidity. So I just want.
Okay, do I still have my reserves? Because I mean, you did take
Yes.
400, almost 500,000 to balance the budget to begin with, but now we have all of these negatives. So where are we?
All of the negatives have offsets. Again, that
offset. So who's getting screwed?
no one's getting screwed. It's depends on how you
Moving
want
stuff
to move
from
money.
A to pay B. So if A is losing, if you're taking money from B to pay A, then where's the money for B?
Well, if there's a PO that you left open and you spent half of it and the other half remains unspent, and I've actually asked Stephanie to do this. I've asked her to meet with department heads and enclose any POs that are in disuse, so that will free up some space.
So were they
and
not
cosmetically make things?
Original POs were not budgeted correctly, or was the work not done, or is the work still to be done? Like, I mean, when you're like,
Maybe the invoice
our
came
stuff,
in.
when I know when we budget, like if it's not done within a certain amount of time, it usually goes up like 10, 15%. Right, Mr. Odoms? Like that street, that 25th Street project, how much did it go up by? Couple million? Okay, yeah, so like, that's what I'm saying, like, normally if a PA ain't closed, we still got an obligation to do some work. I
Who
mean,
knows? Maybe they got a good deal and they didn't have to spend all of it. And then, but it stays open and it stays quote unquote on your budget. Again, this is purely cosmetic, which is why it wasn't a concern. But I've asked Stephanie to go around and find them and close them. I've also asked her to meet with department heads at the end of the year before rollover to ensure that the only POs that roll over are the ones that the department intends on spending. So this way, any POs that are in disuse that are sitting on your line items, making them look negative, they won't make the cut. And the last thing with this is, as I mentioned, we went back a couple years and saw this, and again, it was never an issue as long as the fund itself is positive. And we've created a specific budget transfer process now. And so the idea is, if someone sees a negative that they'd like to make positive, and then they have offsets within their department, or if they have offsets that they'd like to negotiate with another department, we can put it into the fund, we can put it into the form, and then we'll do the journal entry on their behalf and get the proper signatures. And we always check to make sure that there aren't any encumbrances, that we'd be cutting into. So it's very easy to find like open capital to move around. And the whole point of accounting is that you move around money.
open capital, baby. Oh, shoot.
The whole point of accounting is that money will move.
If we had open capital, why did we pull $500,000 out the reserve to balance the budget?
That's what the reserve is for. It's
That there's open capital. So if there's open capital, why did we have to pull money out the reserve to balance the budget?
we've done that in prior years. That's a standard practice. Again,
Okay, but guess what?
tell me what crime was committed as a result of that.
Go bankrupt.
We have 23 million in fund balance. We're not going to go bankrupt.
Okay, let me ask you, can you explain it to me? With so many failing accounts, how could you not see over the last 18 months? Last 8 months.
Because when I typically run a variance report that shows me the actuals. I'm more interested in knowing what goes out the door. And I go fund department by department. If the department has a positive variance, they're good in my book. If the department has a negative variance, then I'll meet with the department head and say, hey,
Starting from first month, you should not follow that. Department by department, not to only looking at the line item.
if I look at the line items, I'll be there all day. Unfortunately, I have to
That's what I'm
triage
saying.
my
Not
time.
only looking the line item, you should not go through the department by department. So then we are not here sitting talking about this today.
We're here talking about this today because whoever's advising you does not know anything about accounting, and they're telling you they're mischaracterizing.
Accountability. This is our account. Like we have to know.
They're mischaracterizing something cosmetic as an accounting problem. That's what I'm trying to dispel here. I'm letting you know it's not an actual problem.
Cosmetic item.
We're solving.
Pull $500,000 from the reserve, and you're telling me that we have all this money sitting around everywhere. I'm sorry, Mr. Odoms, can you come down for 1 second? I'm just like, I just need to know, is the Public Works like in the positive on every account, or are there negative? Are there encumbrances? Are there I could literally pull each department and have an issue and a conversation, because I think contractual services, we don't have enough money to pay for the scanning, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Cynthia? I know you're hiding behind the screen.
Yeah, on paper-wise, it looks like it's brackets negative, but
It's offset.
Okay, and then we're pulling money from the reserve. Okay. Mr. Odoms, tell me what's going on in your department. Can all my projects that you have in that budget be funded right now?
Jeff Odoms, Public
Isn't-
Works Director, Town of Pembroke
isn't-
Park. Can you hear me?
Hold on. Doesn't Hodgkins oversee the Public Works Department? Shouldn't he be adding to this?
I'll chirp in when I think it's appropriate. Thanks anyway. Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead.
Projects themselves, for the most part, those that are funded are funded. The projects have been encumbered. Encumbrances, from my understanding, the way I understand finances as it relates to public
Microphone,
works,
please.
those encumbrances are contracts, and those contracts are to be honored because that money is set aside to take care of the projects that the money is encumbered for. So while finance director has an opinion, I have an opposing opinion, and I think my opinion is rooted in Florida law that speaks to POs as being actual contracts that municipal governments have to follow. That being said, operating accounts for day-to-day business, I have found a few in the negative. I'm not understanding how they're in the negative. Many have had zero budgeted amounts in them at the onset of the year, but yet invoices have been paid against them, forming a negative appearance in the account. What does that mean? I'm not certain, but I'm not certain how it's been paid. I'm not certain how it's, if you want to say dealt with, I'll just use that term. And at the same time, I'm not certain if it's lawful for it to be in that position because from everything I understand from my position, that is not how the budget is supposed to be. I say this because, and I say these things from this perspective. As Public Works Director, it is my job not just to bring projects to you and talk to you about infrastructure and talk to you about things related to underground and services. You gave me a budget to manage and it's my responsibility. And if I manage it incorrectly, you will be asking me questions and you will be bringing me forward to discuss those challenges to you in this same forum. So when I see something that doesn't look appropriate, it's my right and my duty to ask questions. So
Of course.
that's how we got where we are.
We actually did that recently, you and I.
Yes, we did. We talked about a specific item. I did look into it, and I did get back to you on that. And we did. That's not this particular item, but
that
we
was a-
did do that.
But that was a billing issue. where
It was
people
an
were not
issue.
being-
It was an issue about being charged, but I was with what I had expressed to you and thought was a problem turned out not to be the problem that I expressed to you.
I understand, but it was improper billing that
Correct.
led to the problem.
Correct. It was a question about billing
Yes.
that was resolved and found that it was actually correct in the way it was.
Yeah, the amount was correct.
Right. Exactly. Yes, sir. So that's
That means the system is working.
Yes.
that means that particular question was responded to, sir.
That-
And I
it got
say
fixed.
I say that because and not to be disrespectful, I say that only because while that answer for Commissioner Hodgkins was worked out in an affirmative manner, there are still challenges that I see that I am still somewhat responsible for that I have to ensure that are brought to the attention of the Commission.
Okay. I mean, I just have a hard time understanding what my financial position is if we're playing this offset game of A to pay B, B to pay C, C to pay D, because at some point, somebody ain't getting paid. Okay, there's too much moving of money. I'm used to, and forgive me for, like when I went to school in accounting class, it was like every debit had a credit balance. So you had this side matching this side matching this side, not this side, and you have to go down here, jump up on the left leg and flip and skip over to 25 lines over in another general ledger and pull that and then bring it around here. I don't know how to budget or how to act, is it in the budget when there's this, like, it's a shell game. So forgive me for not understanding, because in 21 years of being on this dais, I did not go through this. We knew what our budget was. We knew how much money was in each account. And if there was a negative, we didn't touch it because there's no money in there. You can't make blood come out of a turnip, or however the saying goes. So forgive me for not understanding this, is what I'm going to say. I know you have something you'd like to say, so we can move this along, because I literally have to get out of here in the next.
We already spoke.
I mean, you
half of
covered
them.
the
Yes, he's
report.
already covered it. So, but anyway, you are okay. Finish it.
No. I mean, I know that we're looking to because I don't think we're going to resolve this today at this point where we're all on different pages and having this conversation and understanding where our finances are. And I'm kind of scared to spend a dime because I don't know, who we have to take money from in order to do anything.
So I have a quick question. Who have produced this? There's no ID on it. Nobody's putting their name on it.
What is that?
Town of Pembroke Pines.
I've just been giving this.
The compliance assessment.
Yeah, I don't see nobody taking responsibility
The
for
manager's
this.
gonna
So I'd
enter-
like to know who.
Full financial
All
advisory
right,
services.
excuse me, Commissioner, I handed that out because the manager will enter into the record once his turn.
Okay,
So
but who
when that item
produced
comes
it?
up, the item hasn't been addressed yet. That item, that paper that you're holding, that item hasn't been addressed.
No, okay, but I just don't see any ID on it. So
Which, I don't.
Okay, you done?
Okay.
can you fill me in?
Any discussion anymore?
Which document? What is the title of the document?
It says Town of Pembroke Park Municipal Budget Analysis and Compliance Assessment,
Which item are we on?
and there is no name on it. Nobody.
Who produced it?
Yeah, who produced it?
Did you do that, James?
I've never seen it.
No.
No one's given me a copy of that.
I don't like to get that kind of documentation 10 minutes before a meeting. You want to finish this up today? That's good.
Okay, so,
What item are we on now? Are we gonna continue 7.2?
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, are we still on 6.2?
we done 6.2. Any discussion? Nope.
We have done that
Moving
very well.
forward, discussion, 7.1, which is mine item, discussion on the finance department. We already cover most of them here, so I have nothing to say here, but only one thing. If your slide is there, 48 page, I just have one question about that one.
Which one?
The encumbrances, 48 page.
It's the spreadsheet on.
This?
No.
Are you saying page 48?
Yes, page 48 in our backup,
Okay,
encumbrances,
all right.
The Tyler report.
Oh, it's on that.
the other
Cynthia,
one.
you can terminate that. Thank you. Town clerk, I'm sorry, you can terminate.
Where?
No, you can end the presentation. She's looking for something else.
She's in her item.
48
It's on the
page.
spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet in our backup.
Oh, okay, yes. One second, please. Page 8, right?
48.
48, there's no numbers on these.
It's on the bottom. You see
No,
the
they
little
have.
numbers on
They
the
do
bottom
have a
of those pages.
number.
Yeah, but there's no numbers on these pages.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, there is.
Oh. Yeah, no, you're not gonna see there. It's in our backup. Okay, fine. So,
Which one is it? There's department names,
yes, I just tell you encumbrances.
encumbrances, okay. You want encumbrances, right?
Yeah. I just want to know how we accumulated 2.5 million in encumbrances in your 8 months.
Those are just purchase orders, plans to spend money, but they're not dollars that have gone out the door. And if you scroll all the way down, town clerk,
This is the one. This is encumbrances.
okay. Is there a total?
Yes.
Yes, go back to that.
Hold on, it's very.
Yes. So we have,
Yep.
here, we have 2.5 million total encumbrance. Again, these are plans to spend. This is the total activity. The total, we still have a positive number in total budget. That's all I've been saying this entire time. Offsets, we could spend every single dollar of encumbrances tomorrow. Every single of the we could spend every single dollar of those encumbrances. The entire 2.5. I don't even know what this is. Like, who put this together? Like, I can't verify the accuracy of those numbers, but and no one's ever shown this to me. But you could spend every single encumbrance that is listed there, and then you will have almost $10 million remaining. And so once again, the point I've been trying to make is that it's never been an issue before. We're mischaracterizing something completely cosmetic as bad accounting, and that's the issue. Now, if there's some sort of gap issue here or some sort of GASB issue, I'll take full accountability for it. But again, no, this has never come up in an audit. This has never been an issue. We went back to 2023. We looked through 2024, same exact setup. And so you could spend every single encumbrance there, which you will not, but you could and still be in the positive. And that's what I keep trying to reiterate. But I understand people don't like seeing negative line items. Now, if you scroll up, I'm sorry. If you were to scroll up,
It's computers, so just take a big, deep breath.
this
It's
would be its own
computers.
project, going through every single negative and trying to balance it with an offset within the same department. And so that's not something we prioritized. But we are in compliance, and that is all I ever cared about. But I understand the optics, and so
I-
that's what brought us here today.
As long as we're in
Tax
compliance, I'm
Florida
happy.
Statute 166, which deals with budget and it mandates municipal adoption of balanced budgets. How do you know if you're not paying attention to those general ledgers because there's too many of them? How do you know that you're actually balancing the budget? And then if you took $500,000 out, yes, you have a balanced budget, but you cannot sustain that long term if you're constantly pulling out. Again, it's just kind of like, well, how do you know that this staff should come to work tomorrow? Do we have the money to pay their salaries? If you are not paying attention to those little items to know what we should and should not be spending. That's where my question comes. It's like bad budgeting, but then you're saying, well, gap, COSA, all these things. Well, Florida statute mandates that you have a balanced budget and that you adopt a budget. And when we ask for these things like, hey, can I do this? We're asking, hey, can I do this because is it budgeted? I don't want to pull from Paul to pay Mary. That's where this issue is. Like, I mean, I've never seen so much pulling before in my life. And I don't know what our current financial status is. You're telling me this, but you can't tell me where you pulled everything from. You can't tell me how much is in each account, and you can't give me all my accounts in the positive. So that's where my issue is. Like Christmas decoration, there's a negative $73,000 in here. Holiday, negative 39. I mean, shoot, have you got this many negatives? How many positives do you have?
49 pages.
We have quite a few positives, and that's why, at the end of this,
All right,
as I mentioned, you could spend every single encumbrance, and you will have $10 million left.
Okay.
And we've only done 2 budget amendments this year, so I don't understand what the implication is.
We should know how much money we're spending before we spend it. That's my point. We should know how much we're spending before we spend it. We should know how much we have to spend before we sit here and start spending money. If it's not an emergency item like the pipe broke that we didn't know about and we didn't budget for it, or earthquake came and knocked out half of the city, you should kind of know how much you're spending for people to come pick up the trash because it's a contract.
It was for the generator.
Have who contracts,
And
you should know that. But we shouldn't be moving money around because you already knew, because you have a contract for 3 years saying you're going to do this. All right, this is just like belittling the conversation. City attorney, city manager, you've been looking at these companies. Do you need a motion to bring in somebody to kind of deal with this? Because, I know you had looked at those 4 or 5 companies. Do you need, tell me, how do you want this motion?
Okay, I believe I understood the answers that the finance director gave to me. The money there's not a dime missing here. So
I'm missing because we're sitting here doing budget amendments and we're moving money around. We're taking A to pay B. So you don't know how much money is missing because
okay,
because everything's being moved around.
my personal opinion is that this is a storm in a cup of tea. It's blown out of proportion. Everything is accounted for. We're following the rules that the state has set up.
No, you're not. You're not following Florida Statute 166.241.
That's your postulation.
Okay, I'm just a lawyer. I'm sorry. I'm just a dumbass in the room. It's okay.
I never said that, but that's what you postulate.
Listen, that's what you're saying because every time we sit here and have these conversations and you bring things to light to show that there's an issue that needs to be addressed, it's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. But
No,
at
I
the
just
same
want
time,
fact. Nothing but
we're
facts.
constantly getting in trouble with these agencies. We're going to be in trouble again with JLAC. I'm not the one going up there to answer these people.
Yeah,
Because we keep doing the same thing over and over, or better yet, we're in a worse position now than we were before because we're constantly having the same repeat findings. And now you have all of these amendments going on, budget transfers, you're pulling from Peter pay Paul, you're pulling money out of the reserve. I mean, there's just so much that just doesn't make sense with this at this point.
Town attorney, you just got through reiterating the fact that towns do this all the time. They take rob Peter to pay Paul all the time in different departments.
I don't know if I'd use that phrase as what
Yeah, well.
actually is being done, but I'll offer a couple things. We know, and Commissioner Mohammad's right. She's citing to the right statutory preference. Chapter 166 governs municipalities, and subsection 241 is specific to municipal budgets. We know a few things. We know that the balances in our budgets, including all rollovers from prior years, must equal the appropriations for expenditures and reserves. And at a minimum, the budget we adopt every year, the budgeted revenues and expenditures have to equal, period. I mean, that's the end of the story. Now, throughout the year, it is not uncommon for municipalities to amend their budget. Happens all the time, happens every month, happens all over Broward County in the state of Florida.
Certainly.
The state law provides a mechanism to do just that, and you can actually do those amendments up to 60 days following the end of the fiscal year, because there are POs that continue to be paid out after September 30th, after the fiscal year closes. So state law gives you roughly 60 days to true up the prior fiscal year's budget to make sure it has a zero balance at the end of that time period. Again, I can't speak to the financial operations or procedures in the town. I don't know what our budget looks like with regards to any line items that are out of balance. I can tell you under Florida law, Commissioner Mohammed is correct that it requires the town to adopt a balanced budget. There is a process to amend that budget throughout the year.
All right, thank you. James, have we done that?
We submitted 2 budget amendments this year, one for the emergency generator and the other to pull ARPA in. And so, yes, we have done that.
Okay.
Thank you. I want to apologize to Commissioner Mohammed if I have given her the impression that I'm saying that everything she says is not, you do not know what you know talking about. I do know you do know what you're talking about. I just want, well, I get a lot of claims thrown my way, and I like to verify what's going on because eventually I have to vote on it, and I need facts to vote on and not claims. So pardon me for asking.
I just want to say one thing to clear. No, we are not saying here the money is missing. The money is not in the right place. That's why we are trying to figure it out. How can have them make the solution, and then we will be in the right place. No one accusing anyone like money, why the money is missing. That's all.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have concerns that money actually is missing. So I'm looking forward to a company coming in to find out what is missing and where it went.
And you will be satisfied when their findings are clearing the department.
And you will resign if they're not, right?
You're very sweet. Have a safe journey out there.
I'm gonna.
Okay. Oh, you have something? Go ahead.
I just want to know: is it lawful to pay bills against a budget line that you don't have appropriations in the budget?
I mean, the short answer is no. I mean, in other words, you can't pay money that's not allocated and budgeted for in your budget. You can amend the budget.
It's against the law, right?
Correct. I'm saying you can amend the budget to contemplate
Do
expenditures.
we have any limit, like the finance director can transfer the money at that amount Like,
It depends. Are we affecting the total value of the overall fund? If the answer is yes, then it requires that this commission take certain action, either
so
by
it's true,
motion
is Nick the amended
or
for that,
resolution.
right? It's a big, like,
It would be considered a budget amendment. Budget amendments either need to be adopted by motion or resolution by this commission, depending on whether certain things have occurred.
do our town has that any in our charter? Like, there's
No,
a
this is
amount-
state
no?
law. There's no limit with regards to the amount.
Okay.
Some cities
I got a
do have,
quick
some
question.
cities do have limits in their charters.
Go ahead, Mayor Jacobs.
Is it lawful to pay bills against a budget line if you don't have appropriations in that budget?
That was the question that Commissioner Mohammed just asked. The short answer is that it would be a violation. And we talk about compliance. You can't spend money that hasn't been allocated in your budget. You can amend the budget to add additional line items and then make an expenditure under that line item, but your expenditures need to equate to the revenue in your budget. It talks about a balanced budget.
Yes,
So
and
how does that
James
impact the
just
budget?
answered that.
We have an internal budget transfer process that would take care of that.
Exactly.
And
But
we
you're
have-
taking care of it after the fact, so it's already illegal and you're ratifying it by rectifying it?
Well, you would do it at the point of executing the invoice. If you're applying an invoice to a negative line item, at that point, you would initiate the budget transfer process to put you in compliance and then make the payment. So yes, that's something we just created.
An illegal act, and then you're correcting it by adopting it or ratifying it later.
And I don't know what the
You're
process.
preemptively correcting it.
So yeah,
See, that's the issue I have.
And it's not uncommon to have, and again, distinguish between transfers and amendments. It's not uncommon to have a policy in a municipality that contemplates internal transfers by professional staff.
But do we need to have a policy in place regarding paying bills against a budget line that you don't have appropriations in the
You
budget?
don't need a policy to tell you to comply with state law.
We don't need a policy to comply, to say you need to comply.
You don't need a policy to tell you to comply with state law.
So how do we comply,
You,
other than ratifying it after the fact, if you've already broken the law?
again, I can't speak to what might or might not have occurred. I don't have a
That's-
time machine. I can tell you that there are ways that we can try to cure any issues to the extent that they exist,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't go back in time.
Town attorney, our budget
Can't make
transfers
somebody come
common.
alive that you already killed. Is what you're saying.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
good.
I gotta get out of here.
So that's it?
No, we need to go ahead. All right, so I have the memo. Do you need a motion for the city manager to engage?
I don't want to speak for the manager.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if I might,
ahead.
and I'll repeat it for Commissioner Hodgkins when he gets back, if he would like.
Manager, I'm sorry, can you please speak into the mic?
Oh, is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Having nothing, well, not having nothing to do, in light of the questions being raised, but more at the fact that the finance director has resigned, he's going to stay on for a transition period. You know, whether you think what he's done is good or bad or evil, it doesn't matter. We need to have a finance director in place when his resignation letter takes effect June 1st. So it's our recommendation that we hire a financial services firm to head the department, not replace it, but head it, so that they can do the critical things that we must do between now and the end of the fiscal year. And I'll repeat what those are. We need to set the tentative millage rate, and he has graciously agreed to help us do that. We need to ensure that we get the financial audit to the state of Florida by June 30th, and we need to build a budget. And I would certainly recommend that we build a budget to the extent that we possibly can that has every line that's necessary funded, and funded to the best of our ability properly. You're not always going to be able to budget the right amount. That's the reason why the attorney has suggested that, and the finance director has said that you can do transfers within a budget line or within a fund, as long as you don't increase the amount of that fund. I would say this, I think that it's a problem, and the attorney has said that it's a problem to have line items that are not budgeted for at all. So we would hope that by hiring this financial services firm that we would eliminate that practice. And we have, there's a memo that you have in your backup that was prepared by DC Strategies, where she collected the five leading financial services firms that specialize in providing those services to municipalities. We have reviewed each one of their resumes, their websites, their scopes of services, and between the vice mayor and DC Strategies as an advisor to me, we have selected or we're recommending to you Eisner Amper, and we would like to have the authority to engage them on a temporary basis, and the attorney will explain how it is that we can do that under our charter, so that we can have an operation in place during the transition period with the finance director, so that he can help them understand where we are and what we need to do and so forth and so on before his time is up. And that's critical, time critical. We
Okay.
hope to have a contract to you on May 13th, next week, May 13th.
Okay, I need to stop you there. Can I have the human resource director up here, please?
Okay, we are talking about 7.2. We are talking to your 7.2, right?
I understand that the
1 minute.
Yeah,
Let me say it. So
no, I'm
7.1 is done. So we are talking about 7.2, discussion on financial service. Town manager already explained, because I did not mention. I thought he start something and he just finish it. So I should, for the record, I just say that. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, wait, can I say something? I've been trying to point something out.
Go ahead.
For each negative account, that's a separate violation. I just want to point that out to you guys so you're much aware. Every negative account is a separate violation. And I've sat there and watched money being moved from Tyler, watched it being moved from account to account. It just in one afternoon. So there's something not right in here. Something doesn't make sense, and I've been saying it since last summer, that I brought it to David Lynch and asked him what was going on, and you guys saw how his opinion towards me changed. So there's definitely something not right in our finances. I'm looking forward to it being exposed. Go ahead.
okay.
Brett.
Let me finish this real quick with the HR. A employee can rescind or recall their resignation, right?
Bradley Frischman, HR Director. Yes, we have set precedent with that already.
Okay, so I understand that the finance director have withdrawn his resignation.
Not officially yet.
James?
No, and I do not plan to.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Understanding
So-
that,
Town attorney.
normally in the past, we've always, when somebody resigned, we accept their resignation on the days. It's how we've normally done in the past. I don't know how you guys have been doing it, but in the past, it was always if somebody resigned, the commission accepted the resignation on the days.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not uncommon. It's not legally required. Again, if the commission doesn't accept somebody's resignation,
Yeah, what's it do? Nothing.
correct. But again, it's certainly a not an uncommon practice, particularly for a director that reports directly.
Yeah,
to
I
the
don't
lead.
think we need to go through that. So let me understand. So you guys have already picked firms?
There is 5 firms, but I reach out to the 3 of them. So I highly recommend it for the Eisner Amper, but you guys also have a choice, like we can vote for
So
it.
we get to purview who they are and
Yeah, you already received the DCARPER for the 5 farms. Remember the last meeting, we are giving the direction to the staff and find out, and they give us the.
it came from D. Carper?
Yes, so the 5, number one, like who was doing the Broward Country, so there are 5 listed for us. I think I have no idea you guys look at it or not, but we all receive it. So after that, I reach out. So I personally recommend it for the Eisner Amper. If you guys don't have a issue with that, so we can just vote for it and have things done before May 13th. They can
We
start.
evaluate it. Thank you.
And what did you base your recommendation on?
So Eisner Emper, because they are exceptional at handling back office accounting and complex audit preparation. So I did have a question with them, and based on my observation, we should have to choose someone have full oversight of accounts payable, receivable, and payroll, budgeting oversight, prepare the next annual comprehensive financial report, ensuring city investment aligned with Florida Statute 218. So based on all of these, they are fully required for that. So that's why I basically highly recommend that one.
I didn't hear what company. Can you say it again?
Eisner Emper.
Never heard
Okay. All right, I see it. Never mind.
All right, so.
Madam Vice, may I speak just one quick
Yes.
moment?
No,
Mr. Commissioner?
go ahead.
Thank you. Just a matter of procedure, and I know that the manager spoke briefly to a recommendation. When I spoke to the manager, today's Wednesday, I guess it was yesterday morning, he had suggested the possibility of engaging a company, one of the 5 recommended, as essentially a back office finance department for the short term. Again, you sort of have some short-term issues given Mr. Davidman's resignation as it relates to the audit and the budget and the summer recess and the like. Then you've got long-term issues as it relates to the finance department moving forward. In the short term, the conversation the manager and I had was preparing a professional services agreement for a firm for the commission to consider, and we've worked on that document. The only thing that we would need added by the firm that is being recommended would be a scope of services and a compensation structure. We have a form professional services agreement that captures all the other provisions under the town's code, under state law, as it relates to that engagement. There are a number of options that Ms. Carper has provided that are included in your backup. Again, I think your manager and vice mayor is recommending one of those options. The intent, and again, I don't want to speak for the manager, but the intent would be to bring a contract to the commission on May 13th to formally approve the engagement of the recommended firm, assuming we have their scope of services, have their compensation model. The way we've structured the agreement, it would be a limited engagement. The term that we've proposed, again, this is a business term, not a legal term, but the term that we've suggested in the template we prepared would extend through the end of this fiscal year. So it'd run through September 30th. Get you through the budget, get you through the budget hearings, get you through the fiscal year, and then it has an option to renew for 30 days, at the agreement of both parties. It also could be terminated at any time on 7 days' notice without cause. So in the event at any point over the summer or at any point in any renewal term, the commission sought to hire a finance director or hire a different company to perform somewhat of an outsourced financial operation, there's an out provision with 7 days' notice. We'd be able to terminate that agreement and head in a different direction. Again, that would come back before you on the 13th, next Wednesday.
So do we need a motion?
Again, the motion for approval would be next
No,
Wednesday.
we'd like to look into it first before, and then bring it up at the next meeting. I believe Lisette wanted to comment on something. Am I correct?
Yes. Lisette Rodriguez again. Basically, I just wanted to ask a few questions, directions. I hear that we are hiring, we have the internal audit next week, and I hear like 2 or 3 different companies, right? So I would like to ask, where is this money coming from to pay these individuals? Are we going to do a budget amendment? Just one direction to see how much are we going to spend on this, knowing that now we're saying that the accounts are negative. So I just want to know where is the money coming from
Yeah.
for direction.
Move some money around like you've been moving it around all this time.
And I also wanted to mention that I did my study since 2023. I want to clarify that. I don't want it to start beating the horse, the negative amounts. But basically, that has been the norm, basically. But I met with the manager and I explained to him, and I actually gave him a solution. And I said, okay, so with budget transfers, we can solve this. However, in the next year, we said, okay, that's important for the town. We can implement some good practice, the best practice for the town, benefit the town, and not to have this conversation ever again. Meaning that we don't do a zero-based budget. We create a base, 8 plus 4. And we do exactly what the department needs, looking at the trends. What do they need? And then they are responsible for the budget, and they're accountable for the budget. When they are going to submit an invoice, code the account number. Tell me what you want me to code it to. And that's going to be the way. When we move forward, roll forward the purchase orders. It has to be an operating budget plus whatever you're going to transfer for the previous year that you're going to spend this year. That's going to be your total budget. And that's going to be the solution for the negatives. The negatives amounts are caused by previous year encumbrances. Previous year that had never been taken into account. We needed to take it into account. And that's important for, like you said, the attorney said that that's a violation. Let's fix it and move forward. That's all what I had to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that.
From salaries too. Well, you'll be using his salary to cover the finance salary, that's for sure.
Okay.
That's what you're using. All right, I gotta take out though.
Okay.
All right, see you guys.
I noticed,
So,
I noticed this other firm, Caballero, Firman and Luriano and Garcia, have deep roots in local government auditing and stewardship. It seems like they would be pretty good at trying to resolve our issues if we have any.
Do your homework first, that's what I'll say.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, you're throwing this at me like right now, and you told me to do my homework.
Well,
no, Bill.
You're voting on it next week, on the 13th or whatever.
no, you received like 3-4 days ago the email from D. Carper, the 5 firm. So let's, like Eric said, we want to see, like, we have a time until May 13th, so just look it, and then we can come back to our next meeting.
I got it on May 4th, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we received at the same time, all of us.
Vice
Pardon
Mayor,
me,
so just to clarify.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, I missed your remarks. What firm did you talk about?
Let me go back and look at them.
He will let you know.
Vice Mayor, so to clarify, you want me to add this as a line item for next week
Yeah.
to vote? Okay.
7.3, discussion on attorney fees and possible action for reimbursement on the matter of Babbitt Friedman v. versus Town of Pembroke Park, sponsored by Mayor Jacobs.
I would like the town attorney to start with this.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Vice Mayor. For the record, as our office advised the commission about a month ago, the state court lawsuit filed against the town and against the mayor by the former finance director, Ms. Babette Friedman, was dismissed by the circuit court with prejudice. You might recall that Ms. Friedman had initially filed in federal court about 18 months ago, round numbers, through our insurance defense counsel, and the mayor, through his counsel, worked through that issue and was successful in representing both parties as it relates to Ms. Friedman. The matter was dismissed by the federal court. She subsequently refiled in state court about 6 weeks ago, round numbers. State court lawsuit was also dismissed. It was dismissed with prejudice, which means that it cannot be filed again. That matter, for all intents and purposes, has been completely resolved. Both parties agreed to bear the cost of their own attorney's fees. Under the town's insurance policy, the matter was covered entirely by our insurance defense counsel. There was no out-of-pocket expense to the town. The mayor, as a public official under Chapter 111 of the Florida statutes and under the indemnification provision of the town's code of ordinances, is seeking to have the attorney's fees that he was forced to incur representing himself in that matter through his counsel be covered by the town. We know that when under Florida law, there is a civil action or a criminal action for that matter filed against a public official, and the allegations relate to the course and scope of their official position, their public position. If they are exonerated, found not to be liable, successfully defended and represented in that town, there is an entitlement to the payment of attorney's fees that would apply to any one of you, along with your professional staff. In this case, that does require a finding by the commission of that entitlement. The mayor is seeking the commission to consider the payment of his attorney's fees as stated on the agenda. What I don't have is a final number from the mayor's lawyer. I think he's still processing the final amount of what those fees would look like. Again, it's in the commission's discretion to certainly find that entitlement and authorize that payment. Again, we don't know what that number would be. It was through federal court and through state court. It's not an inexpensive proposition. I suspect there will be some cost, some fees that have been incurred, but I don't know what that number is at this time.
So the request is like
And
now.
we'll have that. This was just like your attorney fees, most FICA were paid for, but you opted to have the town pay for your fees with the premise that if you lost, you would have to reimburse the town. I paid for my legal counsel outside, which is option number 2 that we're entitled to. I paid for my attorney fees for my private attorney outside, and I'm seeking reimbursement for my attorney fees per our statute and per the fact that we've done it for everybody else here in this town. I'm waiting for an updated copy of the receipt from my attorney to bring forward at the next commission meeting.
So the first step would be a finding of entitlement. Again, it's within the purview of the commission.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Okay.
So, directive to put as a line item next week?
Yep.
Okay.
7.4, discussion and possible action for a repayment plan from Clerk Commissioner Hodgkin, sponsored by Mayor Jacobs.
I believe that is already resolved.
It was already discussed at a past meeting, and the program that I'm in is working, and that's all.
Mayor, your mic is mute.
So,
Yeah, no, it's not muted. I'm sitting here trying to talk. So here's the thing. The commission, this is a commission form of government, the commission did not have any say in this payday loan that was authorized to Commissioner Hodgkins. In this case, we are, as a commission, all solely responsible for this. So the commissioner does not. This is public funds. This is public tax dollars. This is not our money, but this is the money that we are supposed to be looking over, like all the rest of the town's finances. So we have a couple options here that we need to take into consideration because this money needs repaid back to the town. First option is to demand immediate payment for the full balance with Commissioner Hodgkins. If immediate payment of the full balance cannot be put into place, then a lawsuit shall be filed. That would be option number 1. Option number 2 is repayment of the loan. No loan goes free, all right? Current payday loan interest rate in Broward County is 32.58%, which is a very high interest rate. But that's what the going rate is for a loan such as this. So interest will need to be applied to the loan. If you just do the basic math on repayment here, the balance is greater than what the commissioner will bring in for the remainder of his term. So inevitably, it's almost $12,000 to $14,000 with via the remaining balance after his term is up. So how are we going to obtain that money? Well, hold on. I'm speaking. I am speaking here. There is no term for you for repayment. This is the commission's decision up here on how they want to have the money repaid.
It's actually already been.
So hold on. I'm still talking. So repayment, if we garnished his entire paycheck through the end of his term, there will still be a balance of $12,000 to $14,000 still owed to the town. The third thing is Commissioner Hodgkins has an entitlement that nobody else in the town of Pembroke Park has. He has a death benefit of $150,000. Now, a stipulation should be put in writing that whatever the balance is remaining, if such death should occur, that the town gets reimbursed their funds before any payment goes out for that life insurance policy. But like I said, there's only one person who has that policy, which is Commissioner Hodgkins. We as a commission need to make some decisions on how this gets repaid with the balance in full. These tax dollars were not authorized to be spent by this commission, who is responsible for these funds. So if anyone else has any other ideas on repayment, I would like them to bring that forward for discussion.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I was just thinking that the commission should also be considering how to recoup your wages that have been for the last year and 3 or 4 months where you lived out of town, and the courts are definitely going to probably find you that you shouldn't even be the mayor here. So we've paid you for a year and a half without even getting anything for it. So we'll try to see a plan to see what kind of payment plan we can come up with for you.
Okay.
Well, this isn't a tit for tat. I didn't wrongfully take money from the town of Pembroke Park. I didn't wrongfully take money from the taxpayers.
Well, that's not entirely true. You have an OIG report against
The
you.
solution, we need to come up with the solution from the dais for repayment.
It's been discussed.
Okay, we will come back with Mayor Jacobs' things because it's not in the decks. But to be clear,
So then move this to a line item on the next meeting for action.
No.
Line item, next meeting for action.
no, we are
This has
have
already
to have the
legally
discussion
been solved, and Mr. Hodgkins has been under investigation of the FDLE and the Ethics Commission, and they have found nothing. So the contract with the city stays, in my opinion.
So in my concern, like
So that makes you just as liable as Commissioner Hodgkins for
Okay.
using public office for private personal gain, which is a felony in the state of Florida.
Yeah, let's go.
Forward, so you're much aware you cannot do this.
You're aware, we're all aware that we have an OIG report against you and your misuse of funds. So let's not go here tonight. We'll deal with that when you have resigned.
Resigned, oh boy. It just, you guys, every time you open your mouth, you prove your lack of intelligence up here and understanding of what your positions are and what we're entitled.
You're a violation of the
It
ethics.
gets ridiculous. It really gets ridiculous. But you know what? You guys are making yourself famous on YouTube. So keep up the good work. That's all I can say. But this needs to be a line item at the next commission meeting.
By the way, all these items you brought up about finances and this, that, and the other were supposed to be protected by HIPAA, but it seems like you don't pay attention to that type of stuff. So.
But see, this is the funny part about HIPAA. You don't even understand what HIPAA is. HIPAA is about your medical records, your medical conditions, and there is nothing of you taking taxpayer money for your personal private gain. That does not violate HIPAA. I don't know where you think it does, but it doesn't. You really should take some time and read what the HIPAA law is and understand what it is before you open your mouth. It doesn't help your case.
okay, we
Okay,
should
stop-
move
stop
on.
it now.
I think it's enough discussion about.
Okay, can we
Commissioner
stop
comments?
this?
Commissioner comments?
No.
Bill Huskin, I have none. Town attorney?
I have some.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm-
no,
You already had your
still
time.
here.
Okay, go ahead.
This town is in a very dire financial position. Money hasn't been used. Money's being moved around like a shell game. There are accounts that are there's so many problems with our finances. Since 2020, I've been saying we need to bring in a private company to fix this. And you guys have all continued to vote against it over and over again and keep bringing in the wrong people that aren't even qualified for these positions. And it's detrimental to this town. I'm very glad we're going to go forward with the company and try to get this fixed. But I don't know where we're at. Like Ashura said, she doesn't know where we're at. We're in really dire straits here in Pembroke Park right now. So that's all I have.
Attorney comments?
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I know we sort of beat the issue of the financial audits to death. I did just want to report to the commission that Forvis Mazur's contract has been executed by the town mayor, by the manager, myself. It's been sent to the firm for their execution as early as this morning. There was one comment, just want the record to reflect, actually strike that. There were several comments that we received from the auditing firm after the agreement was approved by the commission. There was no change to the compensation. There was no change to the scope of work. They had a couple legal requests with regards particularly to public records and the access to records and confidential nature of their work. We know that there's Chapter 119, which governs public records in Florida. In the interest of moving the item forward, I approved the agreement from a legal perspective. The manager approved the agreement from an operational perspective. We got it signed. We're waiting for the fully executed version. My understanding is they intend to be on site next week to commence their efforts. That's all I have, Madam Vice Mayor. Thank you.
Town manager comments.
Yes, thank you. Two things. One, that the vice mayor and I went on a field trip to Miami Gardens, to a free clinic there. What a wonderful operation they had. And they, she was talking to them about being able to come to Pembroke Park once a month to provide free medical services, absolutely free. Won't cost us anything unless we decide to, I don't know, give them a contribution at some point or participate.
Yeah.
So that they are going to come to the town next Friday for a site visit where we will show them the town hall and show them the park and the reserve and some areas where they could set. They have a mobile vehicle that they bring around, and it's like a doctor's office inside. And yeah.
All three commissioners here were at the UMC's fundraising.
Okay, good. So you know about it. So
we know about it. Some of us contributed to them. So, and if we can have a good agreement, we should sit down here in the commission and find an appropriate amount we can support this organization.
Right. I will be asking them to. If they have arrangements or agreements with, I think, the city of North Miami,
Yeah.
and some other cities, and then we're going to ask for a copy of those agreements so that the attorney can look at it, and we'll work out those issues, and then come to you. But if any of you would like to join the site visit next Friday, please let me know or let Christine know. So that we can plan for that.
It will be 12 o'clock.
Yeah, 12 o'clock, I'm sorry.
That is totally free. No, town doesn't have to pay anything for that. And we just have to, with our attorney, to the legal opinion, if there is any issue coming.
And again, the Vice Mayor and I spoke about this. We just want to put together an agreement with the organization just to cover the town from a liability perspective, a sovereign immunity perspective, if they're going to be operating at our park, just something to provide them with that access. Again, it shouldn't be particularly complicated. We just want to make sure we have a proposal from them in that liability framework.
Yeah, well, we were very impressed by their organization, and I think it's a very good initiative that the Vice Mayor have taken. And if we can do anything to improve the life of the underserved, it is whatever we can do, let's do it.
Okay.
They agreed to give us once a month at least their service.
Yeah, that needs to be a minimum, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were looking for not only short term, also the long term. If we give the facilities like one room or something, so they have set up the doctor, everything instead of mobile. I said we can just see after the mobile vehicle how we getting the patients and how many, depend on that, then we can take the decision. Commission can decide it. It's a long term, like if we want to keep them, and they are like to have a long term friendship with us. So it was a successful meeting for us, and then they are coming for the site visit. Also see where they put the facilities. They can use the commission chamber, or they can use the parking lot or the park because they have a mobile vehicle. So we will talk about it after they visit it.
Okay, and the second thing is that Forbes Mazer is going to be on, as the attorney mentioned, they are going to begin their on-site visit next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We don't know what time they're coming, but one of the things that they've requested is to meet with each of the members of the commission, I guess to talk to you about what your issues are with the finance department, or what your observations are with the finance department, maybe more correctly. And so, again, we are going to, I have appointed Lisette to be the front person on that. So if you would, you will be getting contacted about your schedules for next week so that we can set up meetings for them with you. So I think that's it.
Okay. Announcements. 11.1 regular commission meeting Wednesday, May 13, 2026 at 7 p.m. Special magistrate hearing Wednesday, May 20, 2026 at 9 a.m. Workshop commission meeting Wednesday, May 27, 2026 at 6 p.m. Special event food giveaway Saturday, May 30, 2026 at 9 a.m. Adjournment. If there is no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Can I make a
Motion
motion?
to adjourn.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.